Hi, I'm Sabrina Register. Welcome to Neighborhoods. We are here in Chehalis, Washington, the seat of Lewis County. And it's only fitting that the oldest county in Washington state boasts an operating steam train with a locomotive from the early 1900s, as well as a vintage motorcycle museum. But Chehalis began in the late 1800s, and that's where we began. Chehalis was settled by default, not design. In the 1870s, when the Northern Pacific Railroad built northward from Kalama to Tacoma, it ignored Tlaquato, the county seat. Settlers decided if the railroad would not go to the county seat must go to the railroad. A store and houses were constructed, and Chehalis, formerly known as Saundersville, became the new county seat. When you visit Chehalis, reminders of the town's early ties to the railroad are easy to find. Just off I-5 is the Chehalis Centralia Railroad and Museum.
Steam locomotives are an attraction. They're kind of like a pretty girl.
Harold Borovec is the train's chief mechanical officer. He was just one when this 1916 Baldwin logging locomotive began making the journey east toward Mount St. Helens in 1928.
After about 1954, the line was abandoned and the locomotive ended up in the park over on the other side of town. And it remained there for over 30 years. And a couple of strangers came to town, established businesses here, and they said, we need something to rejuvenate this place. So they said, how about getting the locomotive out of the park and operating it? This was in about 1986. And so we did that, and by 1989 we had it running. It's been running ever since.
Since there are so few steam locomotives left in the U.S. where visitors can hop aboard and take a ride, this beauty draws them in from all over.
We'll have people that fly over from England and Australia, Germany, the Netherlands. They're seeking out good locomotives.
Experience how steam railroading used to be. The train operates in the summer over a 9-mile section of track that extends southwest from Chehalis. The historic rail line covers scenic farmlands, hills, and even covers several wooden trestles. Once you finish your train ride, head next door to a one-of-a-kind museum, the Veterans Memorial Museum. The museum is a must-see for U.S. history buffs. It includes uniforms and artifacts from men and women who have served our country, from the Revolutionary War to the present. And then there are the poignant first-hand accounts from veterans themselves, enduring years in prison camps and sharing their fears of war. Another museum worth checking out is the Lewis County Museum in Chehalis, housed in the former 1912 Northern Pacific Depot. There's a lot to see and watch inside.
Behind me is it's an HO scale model railroad layout. It actually runs. It's a Digitrack system ran on remote control. We have a blacksmith shop. We have our little mercantile store, and everything in our museum is from Lewis County.
The museum has a room dedicated to the Cowlitz and Chehalis tribes, plus a display on the Southwest Washington Fair, celebrating its 100th year this summer. It also houses what's left of the stump. President Teddy Roosevelt stood atop in 1903 when he visited Chehalis and spoke to a crowd of about 10,000. Photos, artifacts, and memorabilia that will teach future generations about Chehalis and Lewis County.
It's very important. We don't want to lose the history of our county. Yeah, and people have to have a place to bring things, such as their artifacts that people have brought us over the years. We don't want to lose that history. Plus we have several oral history tapes, research material, biographies, and everything on a lot of people that were pioneers of this area.